This video is specifically for my Disney lovers who love to travel, who actually know a lot about Disney, and you've probably thought at some time, is there a way that I can actually work at Disney or with Disney? Is there a way to help other people take better Disney vacations? How can I take everything I know and experience and have learned and share that with other people and make it so that it's easier and less stressful for them? Because anybody who has been to Disneyland, Disney World, especially with children, knows how much of a logistical nightmare it can be if you don't plan certain things in the right way. And Disney really is a niche unto itself when it comes to the travel industry. So in this video, I'm going to share how you can become a Disney travel agent. Hi, by the way, my name is Brittany. I've been a travel agent myself since 2020. Since then, I've helped over 100 people become travel agents. More importantly, I've helped my team sell over $6 million in travel, and that includes Disney vacations and trips. So I'm hoping I can help you become the next person who either makes selling Disney travel their part-time gig or maybe even full-time. Let's get into it. So just to give you a quick overview of what we're going to cover in this video, we're going to talk about how Disney travel agents work, and then we're going to take a step back and talk about how being a travel agent works in general, in case you're just now going down this rabbit hole. I'm going to talk you through the steps it takes to become a Disney travel agent, and then I'm going to share some mistakes to avoid and talk about what it really takes to succeed, because it is a busy niche. That doesn't mean it's too crowded for you. That doesn't mean it's too saturated. You're not too late. You can definitely make it, but you need to know certain things going in so that you can make it. But before we get into all that, I have to share a disclaimer. I'm not affiliated with Disney in any official capacity. I do not speak for them. I do not work for them. I do not work with them officially on behalf of the travel agent brand. I am, however, a qualified Disney travel agent myself. So this video is based on my personal experience as a travel agent, as well as the experiences of dozens of travel agents who I've helped pursue the Disney travel agent path. Everything I share in here is for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. And of course, these things can change at any time because Disney is its own company and brand. They can do what they want to do. All right, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is a travel agent before I go into what a Disney travel agent is? A travel agent is essentially a high-ticket affiliate marketer. And in case you're going, wait, what? Marketing? Let me explain. We work on a commission basis. This means that our services to our travelers, to our customers and clients, is essentially free until and unless you decide to charge fees. But it's a great deal for them because if they go and try to figure everything out on their own, which you already know as a Disney expert and enthusiast yourself, is going to be a lot of time, stress, energy, and work. It's going to be a lot for them. And even though they might not see it as spending money themselves because they're spending their hours researching everything, they actually are losing money. They just don't realize it yet, because whatever their hourly wage is at their job or their salary is, when you break that down into the hourly, they are spending precious hours, and time is the one non-renewable resource, the one thing we can't get more of later. You're helping them do that. And that is such a big deal, especially when you think about how expensive Disney vacations can be, or any travel can be, how precious these memories are. Usually people are going to Disneyland and Disney World, but then even more broadly, going on a vacation with their family members to make memories. And it's precious because these kids aren't going to be that young forever. I know you know that. So a travel agent is someone who helps, guides, coaches, comes alongside their client. And you might be surprised to hear me say that. Yes, we definitely do the planning, the logistics. We book the travel for them if and when they want that. But there's so much that happens on the front end. And I usually tell my travel agents that being a travel agent is really just one hat you wear. You're also the big sister or brother, right? You might be the coach, depending on your persona and how you put yourself out there. I know I come off as a little more serious and professional on here, but in my travel brand, it's much more freedom-based, silly, fun, high energy, because I work with teachers and I know they need that, especially after a long school year of teaching. So a travel agent books the travel. There is no additional fee, which many people don't know, unless the travel agent themselves charges a fee. The traveler is going to pay the same amount. With Disney specifically, we'll get into Disney in a second, but the traveler often pays the same amount, or sometimes even a little bit less, because travel agents are travel savvy. We're good at finding deals than they would if they were looking and researching and booking themselves. And one thing I often share in my videos, but in case this is the first one you've seen from me, is that every single person uses a travel agent to book. They just might not realize it. So I'm just going to walk you through this quick exercise to see if you've used a travel agent before. I want you to just say yes to yourself yourself if you've ever used these sites or apps or tools to book travel: Google Flights, Skyscanner, Momondo, Airbnb, Expedia, Booking.com, Hotels.com, Orbitz, Kayak. All of these are different online travel agencies, and we usually just don't think of them as travel agencies because we see the front user end of the experience, we put in our dates, we find something, we book it, we pay it. But what's actually happening on the back end is we are our own travel agents on records when we book that travel. That is often why you might have experienced this yourself. If and when you book through a third party and then you get to the hotel and they've oversold the rooms, God forbid that happens to you, it's so stressful, or when something is just not available, maybe you reserved or made a certain request and now they don't have it available, you're frustrated and they're going to tell you, sorry, you booked through a third party, you have to go to that third party now. That's because even though you're technically the travel agent on record because you're the one that booked the travel, you didn't get any of the commissions. The online travel agency did, whatever that company is. And because of that, they're getting the commission, they're making a killing because they're selling you, even though you don't realize it, they're selling you on the convenience of booking it all yourself. But what you're exchanging for that is the experience, expertise, guidance, and really added layer of service that you get when working with a travel agent directly. And I know in this video, I'm not selling my travel agent services to you, but the reason I'm telling you this is because this is a very common question / objection that I get when people are going down this rabbit hole of thinking about becoming a travel agent. They're looking into it for the first time. They're like, does anybody even use travel agents anymore? And what can I get from a travel agent, or what can my client get that they can't just get themselves? So that's one part of it that I tell my travel agents, just educate your clients on this because they probably don't know. They're using a travel agent already. They're just not getting anything out of it. So that's one thing that you should know and that you can use. But another part of that is that people don't know what they don't know, especially when it comes to Disney, which we'll get into Disney specifics in a second. So when people are looking to work and book with travel agents, they're usually coming to you for one of a few reasons. One, because you've positioned yourself as an expert, either in the destination, the type of travel, the traveler. Now, Disney is a very unique niche because Disney is all three of those in one, right? Disney is a destination. I would really say it's like a bigger niche, but Disneyland, Disney World, and I'm talking about those mainly, but there are other locations across the world, right? Disneyland Paris, Disneyland Tokyo. You could probably get even more granular and focus on just one of these parks. But I'm going to say, for most intents and purposes, we're looking at Disney as a destination, and then you might have some unique angle that someone is coming to you before because you have positioned yourself as an expert, not just about Disney, but about their specific needs and wants at Disney. So let me give you a couple of examples. Maybe you're celiac, or you have to do a gluten-free diet, or maybe a low-carb diet. Really, any kind of dietary restriction or even a food-based allergy could really apply here. Someone who has that, it is so exhausting to try to find places that are truly gluten-free, where they won't get something that's going to completely disrupt their trip and then also their health and their life, right? So if you have that personal experience, if you have that added touch you can give to your clients, that alone is going to set you apart from any other Disney travel agent, but also just any travel agent in general. So that's a pro tip, is when we're looking at what we want to specialize in as a travel agent, although I'm guessing you're here specifically because you liked it already, so you're not just looking at becoming a general travel agent, you already know what you want to do. We have to think how we're going to set ourselves apart, and that can really stress people out because they're like, I don't know if I'd call myself an expert. I know some things. First of all, you just have to know 10% more than the person you're helping, so don't worry about that. But we're also going to get into other reasons people come to you, so save that for a second. So we'll get back to that. But that added expertise and experience is going to go so far. So I would advise you to think about that. What is your angle? Because people do seek out travel agents if they have that, because ChatGPT can't give that to you. It's nice. All the AI tools, Perplexity, Claude, they're great, but they don't have lived human experience. So they can't offer that, and that is where you come in. Another reason that people seek out travel agents, human person travel agents, is the connection. They want to work with a person. They maybe actually just like you as a person. So I usually tell people, and I already mentioned this in this video, that travel agent is just one hat you wear, right? I am very big on social media. I'm building a brand using all the online digital marketing tools we have. If I could make you do whatever I wanted you to do, I would have you build on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube channel. I would have you doing email marketing. Of course, real realistically, most people can't do that, at least all of that consistently and well with a full-time job. So I totally get if that's where you're at, but if you work with me, we'll make a plan, don't worry. But you have to have some way to show your expertise and also to create a parasocial relationship with the person who's watching or listening, right? So they have to know that not only do you know your stuff, but do you care? That one is huge because people are actually willing to work with people who are newbies, who don't have as much expertise or experience, if they like the person and they can tell that they care. That is the most important thing that you can offer as a service provider, any service, but especially with travel, because travel is expensive and they're trusting you with their trip. A couple more things you need to know about being a travel agent in general. The first one is that there are many different paths to becoming a travel agent. Now, here on my channel, you're going to hear me mostly talk about host agencies because that is the background and experience I have. That is what I have done. It is a little bit different when you start your own agency, when you buy into a franchise, or when you work for a brick and mortar location under someone else, right? So I don't have those personal experiences, but maybe I'll bring people on who have it. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments below. But I know just because of where the industry has been and is going that host agencies are the way of now and in the future. So we'll get to the steps in a minute, but most travel agents in general are working under a host agency. And this is similar to how a franchise works. Basically, you buy into the certifications, the licenses, and the insurance and all that stuff that you would normally have to go and research and buy yourself. So I am, as you could see, a very big fan of host agencies for that reason. It's also the most low cost and easiest way to become a travel agent, because if you were to go and start your own agency from scratch, like you decide, I'm going to be a Disney travel agent, I want to start my very own agency, you will have to figure all of this stuff out for yourself. And I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, right? Like you can choose, but I will say that for 99.999% of people I meet, host agency is the best way to go. So when you pick a host agency, you're going to make sure, please do this before you sign on or sign up for anything, especially if there's a contract, that they work with Disney very closely, because Disney, as you can imagine, strong brand, name recognition, they lock their stuff down. So you need to make sure that the host agency that you works with has a strong, close, and positive relationship with Disney, so that when you are ready to get going with all of the trainings that Disney specifically has, you are set up to succeed. Travel Agent Basics 101. What is specific to being a Disney travel agent? So once you have mastered the basics of becoming a travel agent, which is usually the first step or layer, right? You have to sign on with a host agency. They'll usually have some kind of registration fee. They often will have some kind of monthly fee, so you'll want to make sure you know what that is. You'll need to take some kind of course or go through some program or onboarding process to make sure that you understand how it works being a travel agent. What are the instructions your agency has? Are there any procedures or policies that you need to follow when making a booking, when working with clients? And then you might have to take some kind of test or exam to show that you understand all of those things. So that's level one, right? Is, do I understand the basics of being a travel agent? And that alone is a journey, right? If you're thinking about becoming a travel agent, or if you've recently become one, then my channel is for you, Travel Agent Haven. If you like what I've shared so far, because it's been helpful, I would appreciate it if you like the video. And then you can subscribe if you want more videos like this. Like I said, this is for you if you're thinking about becoming a travel agent, or if you've recently become one. And then while you're subscribing, go ahead and click that little bell so you get notifications of when a new video is posted. All right, so you become a travel agent, you decide on a host agency. How do you become a Disney travel agent specifically? Disney can change this at any time, but for the last 5 years, Disney has required every single travel agent who wants to work with them to go through the College of Disney Knowledge. This is their online program, which is beefy. We're talking hours and hours of information here. In fact, let me show you. So this is the home screen that you would go on once you have your host agency. One of the reasons that you need to have a host agency before you go and do your Disney training is you're going to need an IATA number or a CLIA number to register. You can think of your IATA as an identifying number, and CLIA is the same way. Usually IATA has to deal with booking commissionable travel, which means that you book travel in a way where you earn commissions for it, or for booking airline tickets. And then CLIA is the number that identifies you with the Cruise Lines International Association. So you can think of it as these two numbers are really important. The nice thing about going with the host agency versus starting your own travel agency from scratch, by the way, is that you can piggyback off of the certifications and the licenses and all of the groundwork that the host agency has already laid in order to use the benefits of those identifiers, right? Like you don't have to go out and qualify for $40,000 minimum, I think, revenue a year to be IATA certified. I think you also have to be a full-time agent. There's all these things, right? So being able to sign on with a host agency is a major workaround. And then once you have these numbers, then you can register as a Disney travel agent and go through their College of Disney Knowledge program. You'll just click create a new account. You'll fill in all this information. And then when you click create account, it will prompt you to enter either your IATA number or your CLIA number. Now, I know for Disney, I've heard from other travel agents that sometimes they'll enter their agency's CLIA number and it won't work. So one workaround for this is getting an individual agent CLIA membership and then using that personal number. And what I mean by that is these numbers that we're sharing with other agents across a host agency, the IATA number and the CLIA number, you can think of those numbers as linked to your host agency's agency memberships with those organizations, right? So your agency CLIA number is an agency account that your host agency has. If you get an individual agent account with CLIA, then you're going to get a separate number that you can also use. So let me show you how that works really quickly. This is actually a major sticking point that many travel agents struggle with when they're first getting started with this. So the individual agent membership is something you pay for annually, and it's pretty affordable. I want to say it's like $100 or $20. We'll go through the price in a second. But what's really cool to me, like yes, the individual CLIA number can be used sometimes when the agent CLIA and IATA numbers aren't working for you. But what I really like about it is that when you have your individual agent membership, you also get an Embark ID. It is very difficult and kind of annoying to meet the qualifications required for travel agents to get an individual IATA ID. So alternatively, you can get a CLIA Embark ID, and that can be used to go on fam trips, to get travel agent discounts, to qualify for advisor rates, all of these different things. So for me, the added cost of having an annual individual CLIA membership as a travel agent, totally worth it. I don't get anything for recommending them. They don't even know that I'm recording this. Not that there would be anything wrong with getting a sponsored video or whatever, like CLIA, reach out to me if you're interested, but this is where you would go. I'll be sure to put the link in the video description for that. I will also include the link to the College of Disney Knowledge, but of course, you won't be able to do these things until you have your numbers and all of that set up with your host agency. So choose a host agency. If you want to work with me and my team, I'll have information about how to do that in the description as well. Once you do that, you've done your coursework for your host agency, you've passed any tests they require of you, then you can start digging into the niche specific stuff, right? You're watching this because you're interested in being a Disney travel agent. So that's what's required, but I think it's worth it. Let me just look at the individual membership to remember how much it is, because I honestly don't remember. Okay, so join or renew. And because the host travel agency that I'm with is a premier agency member, I actually get a discount for being affiliated with them. So let me just see what happens. I'm going to go, by the way, don't go down here to travel agency member application. That's going to be way expensive. You want to go to individual agent member application and either click join or renew. So it has my CLIA number there. It says individual agent membership dues are $139. Any discounts based on agency affiliation will appear at checkout, so you'll see how that works. I'm blurring some things out obviously, but when I talk to you, I'm happy to share more stuff behind the scenes. It's really just protecting myself. That's what your Embark ID will look like. And then once you're ready to check out, any discount you have because of your host agency's affiliation will show up. So for mine, it's usually $139 for an annual individual agent membership, but because I have the host agency affiliation, I actually get a discount of $50. Now, this is the only annoying thing about this process. See how it said agent finder fee? That's because I think I checked or didn't check something. The agent finder fee just means that you get listed on CLIA's online directory. You want to build your own brand. You want to be known as the Disney travel agent, either in your local geographical area where people are going to come and book with you, which I highly recommend, especially for Disney travel agents, or you're going to build a brand online because of your YouTube channel, maybe a TikTok and or Instagram presence, maybe a Facebook group, maybe a blog. There's all these different things you can do, but you want to be known not just for your Disney expertise, but for you, who you are. So when you go and sign up for your individual agent membership, unless you want to be listed, to me, it's just not worth it. $20 isn't that bad, but I just don't like paying for things I don't really need or won't use. So let me just go back up and see where we have to check or uncheck a box. Okay, there we go. CLIA Online Agent Finder. Would you like to purchase a personal listing? No, I do not. Okay, so now see how all the other stuff is removed. Now I go to save and, oh, I have to check this box. I verify my information is correct, blah, blah, blah. Now it is showing the correct amount. Okay, so I get a $50 discount. My total is $89 annually for my individual agent membership with CLIA. So I highly recommend, if you're going to become a Disney travel agent and if you're affiliated with the host agency, after you sign on with your host agency, then go get your Embark ID with CLIA, because you'll be able to use that as your official ID. And I don't want to blow up Disney's spot or anything, but I'm just saying you get certain perks and discounts, and Disney can change them at any time. But if you want to avail yourself of those, and you can send me a DM on Instagram over at Travel Agent Haven if you're interested in hearing more about what those are. I obviously don't want to share everything in a public space because you don't want to mess with the mouse. else. You don't want to have them come after you. So send me a DM on Instagram if you want to know more about that, and I will explain, but highly recommend getting your Embark ID. Okay, I know I gave you a lot of information just now, so I'm going to review it with you again. Step 1 is that if you want to become a Disney travel agent, or any travel agent really, you'll want to sign on to a host agency, but that's specifically important for Disney because Disney does not hire travel agents directly. Another thing I should mention with the whole independent travel agent world is that when you sign on with a host agency, you become an independent contractor with them. So I usually tell people it's like Uber for travel agents, right? Like clients can seek their travel agents out on their own convenience in their own way, right? However it makes sense to them, although I guess with Uber you have to have an app. It's a little different with this. So that's why I said you really have to have some kind of marketing channel. So the first thing you'll want to do is sign on with the host agency, because the host agency is like the door you need to walk through in order to shake the hand of the Disney travel agent world. Number 2 step is to complete any required training or courses or tests from your host agency. Step 3 is, I would say, to sign up for CLIA, get your individual travel agent membership. Remember to get your agency discount. Step 4, sign up for Disney's travel agent training program. You'll want to register as a travel agent with them, and I'll be sure to include that link down in the description as well. Step 5, you'll want to complete all of the training with Disney, and that alone will take, I want to say, 10 to 15 hours, depending on specifically what you focus on and whether or not you go back and watch the videos. I will say, as someone who focuses on group trips, I am looking at the tour company that Disney has, because in case you didn't know, Disney has some incredible tour experiences. And one really special and unique thing about them, by the way, is that they have at least 2 guides on every single tour, and they're not cheap. Like, these are premium tours. But what's really cool about that is, in addition to having more help, because especially if you're traveling with your kids, with the families, it can be a lot, you also get someone taking pictures. And that's a big deal, because if you're a mom yourself, or even just as a parent, then you know how hard it can be to get photos, especially good candid ones, of all of the family together on their vacation while traveling. And that's something that Disney highlights a little bit in their training, but they don't really go deep enough, because I think that's huge. So I'm just going to put that out there now, especially if you're serving families. Make sure you're paying attention as you go through those trainings, what is going to make a difference to the family, because I think many of us get stressed out about marketing, which we'll get to in a second. But if you know your person, if you know their needs, like I mentioned before, maybe you're specializing in a dietary restriction or something, then you don't really have to sell, because you're able to serve and help them and educate them from your education, from your experience, from your enthusiasm, from your expertise. And it becomes natural because you're getting excited and you're helping them avoid pain and letting them know what's available to them. And that goes with the final step, step 6, which is marketing and booking trips. And marketing stresses people out. This is something I primarily help people with, is figuring out what is going to be your plan for getting clients, attracting people to you, and positioning yourself as an expert or an enthusiast. Like, you don't have to be a stuffy expert if you don't want to be. And it's like, who can even say who a Disney expert is anyway? But I will tell you, you will know that you've built a brand around something particular when other people are able to recommend you and refer people to you based on what they know about you. So if you book enough Disney trips for people, they will know, oh yeah, that girl Jackie, that girl Mary, Amy, Jennifer, Jessica, Kim, she knows Disney. You need to go talk to her. And it doesn't matter at that point how many subscribers you have on YouTube, or if you even have a YouTube channel, if you're famous on TikTok, if you're some Instagram influencer, you can put all of that out of your head right now. If you have those things, it's great, right? If you're coming across this video because you have built a following, then what's really nice is you've already done a lot of the work that most other people struggle with. And now you just need to figure out, okay, am I committed to doing this? Do I want to do this? And with whom do I want to work on this? So if you already have some kind of audience or community, I just want to say, awesome. Let's definitely work together, because your business will take off like a rocket ship if you're committed to it. But if you don't have those things, I want to talk to you really quickly. If you just love Disney and you want to serve other families and you want to help people, this can work for you, okay? I have some travel agents who specialize in family travel. They have basically no social media presence, maybe 200 followers on Instagram, which is just all their friends. Maybe they have a Facebook personal profile that they use personally, like to share pictures of their kids or grandkids, or just to see other people's pictures, you know, what we all do on Facebook, look at memes. You don't have to be an influencer to do well. And in fact, that's one of the reasons I love being a travel agent as one of the first things you do in the travel industry, because now I am just going to say, you don't have to do these other things. But if you want to do other things, if you want to work with brands and get paid to go to places, or maybe even get to go for free because now you have built an audience on social media, or you do have a community of people who like to travel with you, if you want to get paid to host group trips and retreats, maybe you get a whole block of families together and you all go on a group cruise. I don't know, Disney does have cruises. There are just so many other opportunities that open up to you once you get in the door. So being a travel agent is just like level one. Not to say it's not work. I think you know inherently that being a travel agent is at least at some level of commitment. It is some work. If it was easy and if everybody who was a Disney travel agent automatically made money, then everybody would be telling you to become one and everybody would be one, right? But obviously that's not true. It's simple, but it's not easy. So I would personally love to help you on this journey if you're interested. It's actually free to work with me, which is pretty cool. And how you do that is I actually have a mentorship, which is a program, long-term program, like we're talking 5 to 10 years, that I take agents through. I like courses and I like memberships. Those things are great. And we do have some offers like that. But this is an ongoing long-term process because you're developing a lot of skills. And for Disney specifically, like I help you not only learn how to communicate yourself and market yourself, but to actually become the expert in Disney or whatever it is that you decide to specialize in. Easy to get started too. You already need to sign on to a host agency. So what you would do is you would use my affiliated link. That means that I earn a commission at no extra cost to you, just like how it is for you as a travel agent. It's the same thing commissions wise. I earn a commission when you sign on to my host agency, and then I hold your hand through the whole journey. Now, this is definitely choose your own adventure. I have many agents who I've helped and they want to do their own thing on their own time. Totally fine. I have some who are like, no, Brittany, I do want you to hold my hand. I want you to hold both hands and we're going to do this together. Totally fine. I would love to do that with you, either one. I'm really proud to say that we have travel agents across the whole gamut here. I have travel agents who've made over $1 million in commissions after being a travel agent for only 3 years. I have many travel agents who do this on a part-time basis around their job teaching, as a nurse, as a stay-at-home mom, and they're making a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s a month. And it's just extra money to pay a couple of bills, to do a vacation for their own family every year. And I have some travel agents who are like, Brittany, all of that sounds great. I just want to get the discounts and the perks and things. And while I usually say, don't become a travel agent just for those things, okay? Because those deals and those discounts and those perks can change at any time, right? These are deals that our agencies have with the companies, and the companies can always change the terms. But it's nice to have the perk, right? And many of them are like, I'm in a season where I'm traveling a lot. I just want to earn the commissions back on my own trips. And you can do that, by the way. I know several people actually who have become Disney travel agents because they earn the commissions back on their own trips because they know I'm already spending 10 to 20 grand at Disney. I might as well get some of that back. And we're talking a pretty significant amount, anywhere from like 15 to 20%. So it's something to look at. I'm sure I've already talked about the pros and the cons of becoming a Disney travel agent, but just to sum it all up here, there are some cons, of course, right? Like a commission only based income might not be something you're interested in, although if this is part-time or gig work, you might not care about that. I will say though, as you get more experience, as you have more bookings, you definitely can get to a place where you charge a research fee or a booking fee if you'd like, and we can help you do that. You can also charge for itinerary planning, which is great because then you make some money on the front end and then you earn commissions on the back end after they've traveled. And usually that's after you've done your first 10 to 20 bookings. So I'll guide you through that as well. With Disney trips, it's a lot of research and client support. Sometimes they're freaking out because they're spending large amounts of money and they're trying to figure out, how do I pay for things in Disney gift cards? Where's the best place to get them? There's just so much that they're learning, right? And then the apps and the wristbands, there's so much. Disney really is its own world. So if you're not someone who likes to hold people's hand, if you're not willing to help people in that way and be really present with them, then you might not like this kind of work, and that's okay. But if you're hearing me say that and you're like, actually, I do like that. I love the research. I love the itinerary planning. I love telling people about Disney and walking them through ways to save time and not have as much stress, then this could be perfect for you. The Disney niche can be incredibly competitive, but you can stand out by doing what I mentioned earlier, right? Which is finding your unique angle. How are you going to differentiate yourself among the other Disney travel agents and the other travel agents in general? You could decide that you're going to differentiate yourself by your geographic area, right? Like maybe there are no other Disney travel agents that you know of in your hometown or city, then you can go ahead and stake your claim. Or maybe you're going to say Disney for families who have kids with autism, Disney while in a wheelchair, Disney cruises. You could specialize in a certain part of Disney too. So there are certain things that we can talk about, ways to help you stand out. What will happen is when you decide that you want to become a travel agent, which I'll have the link for that in my description as well, you will book a time with me. And on that call, I'll help you get registered with the host agency. I'll walk you through that whole process of where to go for the courses and the training. And then I'll walk you through the process of getting set up for Disney. So even though I've gone through some of it here in this YouTube video, I will hold your hand through it, right? And I'll be there to help and support you. And then once you have all that stuff, then the real fun begins, right? How do we actually make a marketing plan? How do we start putting ourselves out there? And we'll also get you connected to my community of travel agents, and they would love to welcome you and to help you and share everything they've learned. So you get to shortcut the time that you would need to spend individually if you were figuring all this stuff out yourself. And it really is a great group of girls. If you get get nothing else from this video, I hope you know that anything you want is possible. That's very Disney, right? Impossible. Things are happening every day. One of my favorite lines and songs from the Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella live action with Whitney Houston and Brandy. Top tier. Impossible things are happening every day. That can be true for you too. And you don't need to work for Disney or with Disney specifically in order to bring that Disney magic to the lives of so many families. And I would love to help you do that as a Disney travel agent. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, my name is Brittany, founder of Travel Agent Haven and travel agent myself, and I would love to help you more with this. You'll find more information down in the video description with all of the links to what I've mentioned and shown to you today. You can always send me a DM on Instagram over at Travel Agent Haven if you have a question to ask me personally that you don't want for others to see. Otherwise, if you have a public question, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. And if you happen to have come across this and you have been a Disney travel agent for a little while, would you do me a favor? Would you leave a word of encouragement or an idea or a tip for someone who's thinking about becoming a Disney travel agent? Because even though I've booked a few Disney trips myself, it's not my main specialty, and I would love for people to hear and learn from other people who are experts. By the way, that's a great way to build your expertise, is by going and commenting and leaving really helpful, valuable information for others to learn from. So if you are a Disney travel agent, that's a great way ethically to build your audience and get free advertising. Not by dropping links, because people will come and follow you and subscribe to your channel if you have good stuff, but by commenting and adding to the conversation here and now. Thank you so much again. I hope you have a great day. If you'd like to learn more about either becoming a travel agent or succeeding as one, if you've recently become one, go ahead and hit subscribe and then tap that little bell so you never miss notifications of when a new video is posted. And if this video was helpful, go ahead and hit like as well. That helps YouTube know to push that video out to other people who need the same information. Bye for now.